So today our like topic will be the QuickBooks. Uh, Before starting QuickBooks, I just want to introduce you a little bit about the QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a very good tool if you want to do the accounting for your company. It can take care of a lot of stuff like all the reports for the customers. If you update all of your data in the QuickBook, then system can take care of all the data about your customers, vendors in terms of receivables, payables, the businesses you have done in the past with that specific customer. It can also help you in creating the balance sheets and income statement for the year. And if you keep on using it, or if you update your data from the back date, you can see the balance sheet and income statement for the uh, past years. At the same time, if you keep on updating, then you can have a good amount of data, or you can say good amount of picture. Like you can project your business for the next year. Why? Because you have the data and you can see the business you have done in the past a few years. So you can see the projection of your business, where the business is going. At the same time, because you have the data to see which of your products are working good, which of your products are not that much performing. So you can take decision based on those real-time numbers. So these are all things possible when you're working with a QuickBook. So let's start working with this one. Once you open the QuickBook in your real-time environment, like let's say if you are working with your like for your business, you will be seeing. Let's say if you have a, you can say uh, like 2-3 businesses, or you can say if you have 2-3 companies, then you can have the screen which will be like this one. All of your companies will be appearing in your in this screen right here, and whichever the company you want to work with. Let's say if you want to update your business for DJ Rhythm company, you can just simply click select it first, and then you can click open. If you want to work with device, let's say it's another company, you can select this one, and then you can open the company, and then you can work in this one. So they are different. Like you can open multiple companies, and QuickBook is able to work with multiple companies. But the only thing is, once you create the company, that company will be a separate entity in the QuickBooks. So you can open as many companies as you want in this QuickBooks. This is what we have observed. Like uh, it's not necessary that you can only work with one company. You can open as many companies as you want. So all of these files that you can see here were the exercises in our QuickBook, the labyrinth uh, QuickBook. What's it called? The the book itself. So we'll be working with all of these exercises in our next few classes. Uh, so let's start seeing how QuickBook works. So I'll just create a company by myself, and then we'll work with that one. So because all of these exercises you'll be working with, so I'm not touching them. I'm just creating a new company, and then I'll show you how to work with the QuickBook. So if you want to create a new company in the QuickBook, it's very easy. Just click this button, create a new company. Once you click it, it will be giving you some option like, is it like you are the admin, or you are opening this company for someone else. So you can just simply select any of these options based on your requirements, and then you can just click start setup. So you see, it only asks for a few information, this one, and then it will create the company for me. If I want to create a company with more detail, let's say if I am already working with the QuickBook, like my business is already updated in the QuickBook, and this is a time, sorry, I am working with, uh, with I'm working with some other software, or let's say if I am updating all of my data in a physical ledger or register manually. So this is the time I am trying to update my things in the system. I can also go with the other options and then go to advanced setup. So if I go with the advanced setup, what system will give us? It will be asking us for a lot of information. But you can see all the required information will be marked as the star. And these are the only information that you need to give to update the system. And there are a lot of questions system will be asking. And by the time you will be finishing inputting all the data, your QuickBook will be ready for like from that place. The only thing is the difference between this one and the other one. That one is a quick setup. It only asks for the name of the company, type of business, and the type of the shareholding, and your business will be ready to work with. So because today's session is not to create a company, it's just to give you familiarize with the QuickBook itself. So let me go with the quick setup, and then we'll be start working. We'll be working with this advanced setup in our classes, when we'll be creating a company from the scratch, and then we'll be inputting the data. But that is like in the later stage. Right now, our today's session is just to give you the familiarity with the working of QuickBooks. So we'll be start working with the quick setup that will let us see from the inside. So let me start with the same option like start setup. So this one is the quick setup. So here we only need to answer these questions like name of the business, like name of the company, type of industry, what type of business I'm doing, and the business type, like is it uh, sole proprietorship or what type of it is, and then we can work with it. So let's start working with so I always give this name to my company, Raza & Co, Raza & Company. Let's say my business is for this class, let's say I chose contracting, and then business type, like let's say I mentioned a resident company, so I just let me make it uh, Raza Contracting. Why? Because if I say and co, it means I have some partners and I have to add all their partnership details and everything. So I'm just trying to avoid that part. But yeah, so once you are here, you can select what type of business. So let's discuss some of these items. Sole proprietorship, I am the whole sole owner of this company. Partnership or LLP is like the partnership in the company. Uh, then we have the single member LLC, which is like registered like there are always some departments where you are registering your company. Like in our part of the world, in Asia, we are registering our company with the SECP, which is Security Exchange Control of our country. There are always some departments which are registering the company. So if the company is registered with that one, then it is an LLC company. Sometimes there are more than one person in the ownership of the company, but they want to keep it as LLC. They can also keep it. Then they can also make it. We know corporations and the bigger companies like stock market companies, and then the non-profit companies, which are uh, like non-profit are the companies like which are like we have a very good name, Kaiser, which is non-profit. Of course, they are making profit when they are selling their product. They are earning money when they are treating the patients. They are earning money by selling their subscriptions. So all of those money they are gaining. But what they do, they are putting that money in buying new stuff for their business, or they just invest that money into the resources or into their employees to give them good salaries to make the profit as to make the profit as to use that profit. So actually they are not making profit, but actually what they do is putting that money into the business, either in the shape of paying to the employees, or they are using that money to buy the new machines, to buy new properties. So once they invest that money into their properties, it becomes non-profit. Technically, non-profit are the companies which are there to serve humanity, but some of the companies are using the name of non-profit, but they're actually using that money into the you can say improvement or increasing the size of their business. So that is another way of claiming themselves as non-profit. But these are all tax issues or legal issues that I am not into it. Like I'm just giving you the idea that how the companies are working, uh, and what is their but we know that Kaiser itself is saying it's a non-profit company, but we can see that how it works. Like normally we see that in Kaiser, the people are paid good salaries. At the same time, they are also you can see if someone is not making profit, then how come their business is flourishing? It's going increasing. They are making new properties, buying new properties, renovating their properties. So If something is happening, so it means they are using whatever they are earning into those improvements. So that's the way some of the companies are using. So we have no, like there are some other type. If you find some other company which are not part of it, then you can just put here other or none, and then you can use that part. So I have a question, like if we can go with the sole proprietorship or then what is the use of single membership LLC? And if we can go with the partnership, then what is the use of multi-member LLC company? So this question arises. So now you have to tell me that what do you think, why there is a sole proprietorship and at the same time single member LLC company? There's a partnership, but at the same time multi-member LLC. What is the difference between these two type of like companies?
I do not know.
Okay, so sole proprietorship is like when you are owning a company. Let me take the example on myself. Let's say if I own a company and I take a loan from XYZ bank. So once I found that I don't have money left, or I defaulted, or you can say I bankrupted. So what the bank will do? Bank say, okay, you bankrupt from the company side, but you cannot, but you still have your property, like your house is there, your car is there. Sell it and give me my money back. So that is the scenario when it's a sole proprietorship or it's a partnership. But when it is the single member LLC or multi-member LLC, like the LLC stands for limited liability company. So when it is a limited liability company, it means if my business defaults, or you can say my business go into bankruptcy, the banks cannot come to my home and then say that you have this property, give it to me, because my liability in that company is limited to the shareholding I'm owning that company. So if I lose, if I like if I you can say if I run into the losses or if I bankrupt, the banks or other companies who give me money cannot come to my home and then tell me that okay, because you owe us money, so sell your house and give me that money. So this is the basic difference. It's a limited liability company. So my liability when I'm owning those companies or when I'm a partner in these companies, my liability is limited to what I have in this business, not beyond that. If I have 5 companies, 5 LLCs, one of my businesses start making losses, they cannot. They can only get the money from the sale of my this business, not from sale of my other business. So LLC, when there's an LLC itself is a legal entity. So if someone like if an LLC owes a money, the LLC itself is owning a money. It's not the person who is the director or shareholder in that company owning that money. Only the company owns that money, and the company dissolves as soon as you file bankruptcy and the people have taken their money from that company. So if the company is finished, then nothing is there that can actually claim, the banks or other lenders cannot sue the person personally, like the owners personally, that you actually are the one running this company, so you have to pay us from your own pocket. So whenever they are giving money to the LLCs, they are taking their risk on the company itself. It is another thing that they are running the credit report and other things on the shareholders to see the credibility of those shareholders, or the you can say the owner of that company, like the LLCs, a single member is the owner of that company. But when it comes to the bankruptcy, they cannot go beyond the LLC company. They cannot go and then start asking for money, going to the person's home and then say that you actually owe us money, so you have to sell your property or something and give us money back. So this is a basic difference. That's why, but banks are banks. So whenever they are funding the LLCs, this is because I worked with banks for almost 22 years, so I know the background. So whenever they are financing the LLC companies, what they normally do is they are asking the shareholders, or the directors or the sponsors or whatever the person is who is owning the property, owning that company, to sign a personal guarantee. That personal guarantee will again make this LLC company as similar to like sole proprietorship or partnership. Why? Because if something happened to this LLC, the bank or the lender can always sue the person who signed the personal guarantee with the LLC on behalf of the person, on behalf of the LLC company. The lenders or the banks can go and sue those person and get their money back by selling the personal properties of these person. So this is the background. Always remember that whenever the so the gist of the matter is, if you own a company, then it means you will be responsible for the money you borrow, no matter whether you have the money or not, but you have to pay it from any sources, to that person, to that bank, or to the lender. But when it comes to the LLC, so you are not borrowing money on your behalf. You are borrowing money on company's behalf. So they are not giving money to you personally. They are giving the money to this LLC. And when this LLC files bankruptcy, or when it becomes, you can say, defaulted, the money is already gone. Like, they can only get the money which this company has. That's it. At the time of default, or you can say the time of uh, bankruptcy, the company has assets or receivables or whatever. If you club all of the money that the money has, will come to, let's say, $100,000. And the people who will be asking for money, like the lenders, are actually, let's say, uh, five lenders, and each of them give this company $100,000. So total $500,000. So this $100,000 will be divided into all of these five people, like 100, like 20,000, 20,000. But there are a lot of different things involved. Like, say, if the company is, if all of those lenders have signed a pari passu charge, then all of them will be getting the 20,000. If one has given the ranking charge, which is the first charge and second charge, then the one who has the first charge will get the most of the money. The second charge will have the second right to right, or second claim on this property. If third charge will get the third claim, like the first one will be given the money first, then the second one, then the third one. So it will be the process as per the, you can say, as per the lender sign the agreements with the company, how they can take it back. But just in case, if a company has signed the documents or lending documents with this one, like the LLC has borrowed money from someone, they also, the lending company or the finance company, also get the sign from the partners or the proprietorship, like here, single member, or the partners, like the multi-member, in their personal capacities. So let's say if the loan was 500,000, and the money from this LLC is only can come up to $100,000, then for the remaining $400,000, they can sue the person or the partners. So this is the basic difference. When it comes to partnership or sole proprietorship, they are whole sole, responsible for the use of money or for the default of the company. But when it comes to the LLC, the partners or the owner is only responsible until the money has, this company has the money. As soon as the money, this company finishes the money, like, let's say, if they don't have any asset to sell, the company dissolved, and you can say, there is no, there is no receivables coming, there is no businesses there, nothing is there. So it means they cannot go beyond this level. They have to bad debt their loan. So these are the things that we need to understand this part, like sole proprietorship and partnership. They are responsible for repayment of loan in their personal capacities. But when it comes to the LLC, the shareholders are only responsible to pay the loan to the extent of the money available with the LLCs, not with their own personal assets. So this is the basic difference. So we'll be discussing, let's say I'll be putting it the sole proprietorship, so I don't have to put the details of other one. And then here, this exercise, we can put any password that we want. So, sorry, any email that we want, like you can use your own email, or you can also give the institute email, whatever you want to give. So I'm just putting my email address. And then you see there's nothing here that is required. And then I just simply say create company. The company will be created with the name of Raza Contracting. So once the QuickBook starts, this will be your dashboard. Like this is your home page that you can see. Let me do one thing, which I think there's a. So if there is a new feature they improved in the newer version of the QuickBooks, they always give us this page which shows that what are the new changes. So here you can see they mentioned that the move windows to next monitor button. So here they actually increase one more icon that will actually, in the newer version, you can just this will move the windows to the new. Let's say if I have more than one monitors, if I click this button, this my screen, the one screen will be going towards the right place. So yeah. So again, if you want to switch the monitor mode, then you can use this monitor. Like you can use the QuickBook as a multi-monitor application as well. And the last thing is it select at least 2 and up to 3 monitors. So it means it's in the newer version. I'm sorry. So in the newer version, you can use up to 3 monitors for your screen. So what is the purpose of it? So, like you can see here, once I'm working on this screen, my other screen is hidden under it. So they make us work with 3 monitors. So on one screen, you can use this one. On the other screen, you can open the home tab, and then other uh, like windows, you can open up to 3 different screens. So let's say if you're working with the banking, customers, vendors, all at the same time, you don't need to just switch the screen on your computer or somewhere. If you have the 3 different terminals, or you can say 3 different screens, you can just place vendors, customers, and reports or banking in different screens, and then you can work directly going to that screen. So this is one of the new options they added. So they just give us the view of it. So let's start working with the QuickBooks. Uh, Today's class is mostly about the introduction of QuickBooks. Today will not be doing any practice on it, but we'll be start working or practicing on the QuickBook hopefully from the next class. Today's class is just to give you the entire overview how you can work with it. Uh, so this is the first screen. As soon as you are in the QuickBooks, this is the screen that you'll be seeing. So you can see here it is the vendors, customers, employees. uh, like 3 main terminals are in front of you. At the same time, on the right side is the company tab, and in the downside is the banking. So whatever the things you are doing with your vendors will be coming on the top, with the customers will be coming here, and the employees are here. Your company is actually itself, like the company is having 2 items. One is the income statement balance sheet, that is your chart of account. So if you click it, I created a company that is into the construction business. Like I selected the contracting. So QuickBook is smart. It has already created a vanilla sort of things for me. Like it has created all of those type of business that a contractor is doing. If I've selected barber, the system has selected all those business titles or income and expense items that is a part of the barber shop. Here it is a contracting company, so it has put all those income and expenses, and of course the assets and liabilities, which is normally part of the contracting company. So the only thing is, like, it is not necessary that you are stuck with these items. I'll be just showing you all of these in detail like when we start. But just to start off with, I just wanted to give you the idea that system is smart. QuickBooks is smart. Once you select the contracting, you see all of those things are actually about the construction business. Here you can see construction in progress, construction income, blueprints and reproduction, construction material cost, equipment rental or job, other construction costs, subcontractors expenses. So you can see all of these type of expenses or income are part of, you can say, the contracting company. So I don't need to think by myself, because when I'm creating the company by myself, I may skip some of the income or expenses type that are normally the business norms. But once you create it with the QuickBooks, QuickBooks is taking care of most of the item. And then let's say apart from construction company, you are also running as, just to give you the idea, you are also doing servicing, the gardening or this and that. So you can also add more items in your business, in the businesses, that I'll show you how, and then you can earn money in that part as well. So if you see on the right side, these are all the things that we have discussed: the current assets, the fixed assets, current liabilities, equity, cost of goods sold that we have discussed in the earlier lecture, all of your expenses, other expenses. So you see that all the part of which is like income statement and balance sheet, they are here. And of course the income statement, income itself. And then you can see construction income. So it has tell us that uh, if you see this one, income statement, cost of goods sold, expenses. So all of these three items will combine together, and other expenses. All of these items will be combining together to make the income statement. And then based on that income statement, you'll be getting either the losses or the income that will become, that the final numbers will become the part of the equity, or you can say the proprietary capitals part. And then of course, your balance sheet is comprising of these items like the current assets, fixed assets, liabilities, and then equity. So now I'll be discussing how to add some item. Let's say if I do the gardening also, how I can add new businesses in this one, that I'll be telling you in the later part. But just to give you the idea that this is your income and expense statement and the balance sheet statement. So this chart of account is about your balance sheet. The next thing is items and services. So whenever you are selling something, or let's say if you are giving your services, these are the items that will be earning money for you. So whenever you are selling something, you need to make sure that you are making it a part of your items and services. So here you can say you are selling all of these things like plants and permits, plans, building permits, city lease fee. So here are all the fees mentioned here, that you are providing all of these services, and these these are the services, and these are all part of the services. So interior wall insulation, electrical and lighting, heating and cooling, plumbing, all of these are part of your like different sources of income, and these are all your services, and they will all be, once done, they will become part of the construction income. So again, you see here in the items and list, you are updating your sources of income. This is what we have just discussed. So the next part comes here is the vendors. Vendors are the one from who you buy your items. Let's say if you are buying your uh, like you can say if you're buying any raw materials or something, you can make them part of the vendors. If you are renting something from the vendors, you can also put the vendors, and then you can start updating those things, like from which vendor you are renting the you can say that the cranes and all those sort of stuff. So these are all part of your vendors here. So let's go to the before going into the further screens. Let's discuss the screen. So the customers again. Here, whenever you are selling your buying your stuff, you enter the bills. What is enter bills? Like you are saying that I need this, I need that, I need that. So you will be making a list of those items. Then, because of your past experiences, you know how much each of these will cost. You can put the values and then send it to vendors. Vendors will sell you those items and send you the invoices, or you can say the cash receipt, whatever the case may be. And based on that, if it's an invoice, you will be paying on at maturity your payments. So that's the flow of the vendors. Like you enter the bills, you send it to the vendors, vendors send you the shipment, and then send you the invoices. and at maturity you are paying your bills. Sometimes if the payments are on the same day, then you will be like giving them the cash receipts or whatever the way of payment is done. Based on that, the that will be selected here. Either the you are paying bill with the credit card or cash or check or whatever, we'll be using those portion here. So this is the vendor cycle. Sometimes when we are working with the vendors, we only we only have the two items: enter bills and pay bills. And let's say if I want to work with some other commands, I can always go to the vendors on the top here. And apart from these two, I can also select the bill tracker. I can also select the see, enter bills and pay bills are already in there. But if I'm updating, if I kept updated my records, I'll be finding the all the 1099s and everything in my system, so that I can just print them and without going into the hassle of just typing manually, or you can say like updating the data and then finding the numbers from everywhere and then typing it. If we have the properly data updated in the 1099, system can print all of these reports in just click of a button. The second point comes here is the customers. So again, customers is when you are selling your items to the customers. So when you are selling, there are different scenarios of selling. Maybe the customer comes to you and asks for the estimates first, that he wants the quotation, that how much price you will be asking for that specific item or services. So let's say if you agree with the payment, or you can say if you fix the price, send them in send them the estimates or quotation, and they agree with your price, what they will do, they will be coming to you and buying those stuff. So either you'll be creating the invoices if you have the dealing of like sending them or selling them goods on credit. So they will be you'll be creating the invoice and send the goods to the customer and sending the invoice to the customer too. So once customer due date is here, they will be once the due date of payment is there, your account receivable amount will be showing up in the reminder, and then your customer will pay you on time. If he doesn't pay you on time, your system will tracking it, and then it will tell you that this customer has not paid for the past 5 days, like it was due like 5 days ago, and now it's already 5 days past due. So you can follow with the customer, sending him reminders for the payment. So if a customer pays you right away, then you'll be showing the payment receipt, and it's normal. Just to give you an idea, payment does not mean that you are paying like you are receiving payment in terms of cash then and there. Sometimes the customers are paying with a check, sometimes they are paying by credit cards. All of these different modes of payment will be the payment side, and then of course uh, they all are different type of payment. So if they are paying you right away, that will be registered, or you can say updated in the sale receipts. But let's say if they are paying you for a day which is in future, then you will be updating in the, once you receive the money, then you'll be updating in the receipt payments. So this portion, like create a sale receipt and receipt payments, are for the scenario when you will be receiving money. So if it's then and there, then you'll be issuing the sale receipts. But if you are not receiving money, rather you only sending the goods and money will be coming after 45 days, then you are issuing the invoices, and upon maturity or few days before maturity, you are sending the customer a reminder to pay the bill, and once they pay the bill, you'll be updating the receipt payments. So this is how it works. And then of course, if there's any statement charges or some statements, you can update them there. Then we have the employees. So we have the employees is not part of this course, but just to give you the idea that the same way your vendors and customers are updated, the same way the employees will be getting updated too, because you are paying money to the employees. So with to tackle the salary of the employees, you are making sure that you update the time, and then and you can calculate the amount to be given to your employees at the end of the month. So this is what you can do here. So until here, we have just discovered that we are buying from the vendors, and then when we are buying, we enter the bills and we pay the bills when the maturity of the payment is. For the customers, when we issue the first thing that the customer wants us is the estimates. Once we give them the estimates, maybe the customer like the quote, they will just simply order that material, and then the material goes to the once you receive the invoice or you receive the payments, afterwards, that money will be going towards the deposit. Or if you receive the money then and there in the sale receipts, that money will be going to the record deposits portion in the banking. So let's see, if you pay money or if you receive money, they both needs to be come into the deposit area, and in the banking area, and once it is mentioned in the right way, uh, like uh, so once you are done with all those payments or received in the proper way, you need to make sure that your money in the bank is the same as is appearing in your account or in your QuickBooks. So you are reconciling your records. So you need to make sure that the money appearing in your QuickBook in your computer is matching the data with the banks. So these are all the things that we'll be covering. So now let's start with the first thing, which is like vendors. And even before starting that part, I'll be showing you I'll be showing you one more thing, which is in the QuickBooks. It's very easy to handle the things because it is not one way to do the job. There are multiple ways to do the same job. Just to give you the idea, we have customers on the left. The one thing, I have this screen quite small, so I always like all the tabs on the top of the screen. So what I can do, I can just simply go to view. Why? Because it's about view. They are now right on the left side. I want to make them on the top, so it's a part of view. So I'll be going to view option here, and then I'll say top icon bar. So once I select it, so now you can see my screen looks like a much bigger in size, and of course I can see more items like payroll and services, whatever the options the QuickBook wants to give us, I can see them. The important part is, if I have some balances, it will be telling us that how much money I have in my current account and my checking account. So it's my dashboard that is actually taking care of my most of the stuff. I don't need to do it going to different screens. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be coming back in like 1 minute. Okay. So let's say if I want to work with the vendors, it is not necessary that I click vendors from here, or I click vendors from here, or I click vendor from here. So if I want to go to the vendor center, I can just click this place, click vendor center. And then you can see I am on the screen. This side will show the name of the vendors and their balances from their specific projects. In this place, I'll be seeing all the information about the vendors, like their company name, full name, and the billing information, like their addresses, all of those things, and then different transaction I have done with that vendor. Some of the information, like sometimes, not sometimes, we always have one button here which will be showing us like the quick report. I can click it and then get the report, can see the report right from this screen. So once we have the data, then we'll be able to work with that one. You can also have you can also download the report with the vendor, like from here. All the transaction and other things you can download it in the Excel. So all of these information are available. Once you are working with the reports, then you'll be seeing it more. So this is the vendor part. So here you will be seeing all the information. Let's say if you want to add a vendor, how you can add it? You see on the top, new vendor, right? And you can see on the top, I cannot see because the screen of the meeting is here, but I know that on the top of it, there's a mention that the vendor center. So this is the important part. Like you are in the vendor center. So if you click the edit button here, you will see everything will be about the vendors. See new vendor, add or edit multiple vendors, or whatever. Like all the information that are coming here is about the vendors. So if you want to add a new vendor, either you can click edit and then you can select new vendor, or you can also select new vendor from here. And QuickBook is very much right click friendly. So if I right click, it will give me the option of new vendor too. So there are multiple ways of doing the same job. So what we have learned here, if I want to go to the vendor center, I can click here, go to vendor center, and I'm on this screen, right? I can also click from the vendors, yes, here. If I click it, I'm on the same screen. So there is nothing difference. If I click vendors from here, I'll be still on the same screen. So it means it is not necessary that you need to click one way to perform a job. You can do the same job done in multiple ways. So this is the beauty of QuickBooks. And then the next part, once you are on this screen, either if you want to add a vendor, either add a vendor or edit a vendor or delete a vendor, or if you want to update a vendor, whatever you want to do with the vendors, you can just simply, the first thing you can do it is with the edit button, and then you can see new vendor, edit vendor, or whatever you want to do, you can do it. The other way of doing it is like if you right click, you have all the same custom, like the toolbar, like add vendor, edit vendor, add multiple vendors. So whatever you want to do, you have all those buttons, or delete a vendor, because there is no vendor available right now. So the button is grayish now. But let's say if you have different vendors, you select one vendor, then this will pop up and then you can delete that vendor too. So all of these options that you want to work with the vendors will be available in here, edit, or in the right click. But specific to a new vendor, you can always do the new vendor from here. So new vendor or add multiple vendors. So what we have seen when we are working with the vendors, we are either using the edit button. The first thing we need to make sure is that we are in the vendor center on the top. Then we can just simply click the edit button, and then you can click new vendor, or you can select the new vendor from here. Or if I want, I can select the right click, and then I have all those options available for vendors here. So let me close this one. Now we'll be working with the customers. Very much the same way. If you want to open the customer center, click it, go to the customer center. And again, you have the same. On the left side, name of all the customers. On the top, name of the customers and their businesses, like the total balance right now. Their businesses, their business detail, like the company name, full name, bill to, all of those information. And reports on the right side, whatever the reports you want to draw. The next part, whatever the transactions you have done with the customers will be appearing in the downside. Right now, we don't have any transaction, so it's blank. But if you have done any transaction in the past, you can always see those transactions here. And of course, all transaction, you can apply the filter all transaction, or specific to any like sales transaction, balance details. So all of these things that you can see here. And of course, what type of information you want: this week information, last month information, this month information, last week, last month, and all the information. So this is your choice of what information you want. So normally we are doing the transaction in the future dates, because 2018 is all the exercise we are doing will be in 2022. So you cannot select this week or that week or last week or something. We will be selecting all the information so that we can get the reports of the entire report, which is of course like of 2022. So now we know we can come into the customer center using any of these three buttons, like the customers from here. Let me just now I open using the customer center from here. And then if you want to go to the customer center in the same place, you can also click the customers from here. You are on the same place. And then if you want, you can also click the customers from the downside here. So it is all your choices how you want to come to this place. There are multiple ways of doing the same job. So I like QuickBook very much because of the same reason. It is not as hard and fast that if you want to do any job, you need to search for that specific button. There are multiple ways of doing it, and QuickBook is very much right click friendly. So you can just click the right click and then you are into your screen. So the next part, so we have done the customer, and then again, if you want to add a new customer, this is the new customer. If you want to do and see, you are in customer, you are in the customer center. So once you click the edit, now you are working with the customer, new customer, add multiple customer. So this will, and of course, the last thing is the right click, and then you can see new customer, edit customer, delete customer, add multiple customers. So add job. So all of these things which are pertaining to customer are appearing. The beauty, when you are in the customer, you only can see the tabs about the customers. If you click right click it, you will find all the options about the customer. So you are your chances of making mistake is minimized. Why? Because if you update something for customer and by mistake if there was a button of vendor, if you click that part and you updated every information, and you will be getting the vendor instead of a customer. So by making the customized, you can say customized buttons, they make you, or they reduce the chances of making mistakes for the users. So this is the thing that I like most. Like right now I'm in the customer center, so I can see all the options that I am seeing are about customers. See here, customers, and then if I right click, everything is about customers. So this is what I like most. And of course, if you want to, so what we have learned now, how to go to the vendor center and how to add, edit or delete a vendor, and it's all right click, or if you go on the top, you will find the options to edit or delete, add, edit or delete those customers or vendors. The same way for the vendors we have just seen. If you want to add something, you can go to new vendor, edit, right click, and then if you want, you can use the edit option from here. So this is the thing that I wanted to emphasize, that if you want to work with the vendors, please try to be in the screen of vendors in the vendor center. So what will happen? Whatever the information you are inputting, that will be you can say that will be everything is about the vendors. So the first part to start the transaction or is to do a thing for the vendors, you need to first come inside this one so that you can not make mistake. The same way, if you are working with the customers, you go into that one and then create new customer or something, so you'll not make any mistake. The next part. So we have learned the customers and vendors. So now we start working with the chart of account. So if you are in the chart of account, see, some of the vanilla sort of like balance sheet items are inside this one. But let's say if you want to add, edit or delete any part of your balance sheet, you can always click the edit button. Now if you see, it is not showing you the customer or vendors, rather it is showing you about the balance sheet item. Like you want to edit any account, you want to new account, you want to delete account. So that's the beauty. Previously you were in the customers or vendors. QuickBook was always asking you to add, edit or delete about a customer or vendor. Now you are in the balance sheet, so it is only asking you, do you want to make any changes in this balance sheet or not? It's not asking me about the vendors or customers. So what we have learned here is QuickBook is dynamic. It is giving you the buttons, or you can say giving you the options of using these tabs based on the screen you are in. So right now I'm in the balance sheet, so it is telling me to change the items for the balance sheet. So here I have seen edit button, I can make changes. I have one button in the downside. If I click it, I have the similar button available here as well. New account, edit account, delete account. So I have all the things available here as well. So now we have seen the vendors, we have seen the customers, we have seen the chart of account. The same way, if I want to add, edit or delete items or services, I have to click here. And then again, the same thing, just to give you the idea. This is not the reason, but just to give you the idea that when you're working with the exercises, you will observe this part. Vendors and customers, they are humans. So if you want to add anything about humans, you have the option on the top. Customers. This is not the reason, but I'm just giving you the idea that even if you are working with any company, you will find these buttons. Like now you are working for the customers. Customers are humans, so you are starting you can say starting option for the new customer, something is on the top. But when it comes to the balance sheet, like chart of account, you see the option is not on the top, it is in the downside. Balance sheet is not a human being, so you can see that when you want to insert the detail about the balance sheet, the option to add a new or something will be not on the top side here, it is in the downside here. The same way, if I'm working with the items and services, again the same issue. For this one, because it's not a human, we have the option of adding a new item or editing an existing item or duplicate item or delete item or anything that I want to do with these items and services can be done using the button, which is item button on the downside of the screen. So these are some of the important topics that we'll be covering. Just a minute. Okay. We have covered the vendors, customers, company, means the balance sheet and items. Working with these items, it's an overview. So today's class is all about the overview. We'll be practicing each of these topics in the next classes. So let's say, so this is what we have learned. Now the next topic is the banking. So if you want to, whatever the deposits you got from the customers, you need to update it in the bank. So to give you the idea, once you sell your items or sell your services to the customers, what will happen? They give you money. Either they deposit it in your bank directly, or they give you the check or give you the cash. So whatever the money is with you, like if the customer is not deposited in your account, they have given you the money or giving you the check or whatever the mode of payment you selected is given to you, or pay you by credit card. Now your job is to go and deposit that thing into the bank. If you go to the bank physically, personally, and deposit it and all the items into the bank, that's fair. But the question arises, if you give the money to your bank, if you do not update your QuickBooks, what will happen? Your data with the QuickBooks will not be matching with the data with your bank. So that's why once you deposit the money into the bank, you need to go, you need to click your record deposit button here. And then here you will be updating, like right now we don't have any data here, but once the data is here, it will be opening up the screen and it will be asking us which item you have to deposit in the bank. So when we are working with the QuickBooks, we are actually not physically working with the bank, but we are actually updating whatever we have done with the bank. Let's say if I have deposited money into the bank, I'll be selecting the record deposit. I'll be selecting deposit this money into the bank. If I have if I have some checks to be updated in the system, I can do that part. So all of these items that is done will be updated in the banking. So if I issue a check, I can write a check by myself as well. Like just 1 minute, I show you here. So let's say if I pay my bills, right? If I pay my bills using the check or cash, or if I receive payments, either check, cash, or credit card, whatever the mode of payment is, so whatever the money is coming in or going out, I need to make sure that it's all updated in the record deposit. So once it is deposited, at the end of the period, like every month or every like 2 weeks or something, based on the size of the business you are working, you need to reconcile your data with the bank. You don't want your data to show the wrong pictures, and maybe when you issue checks to some other vendors, they start bouncing. So you need to make sure that you are reconciling your data with the bank again and again, so that you know the existing status of your account, and your check, whatever you are giving it to the vendors or someone, is not getting bounced. Uh, yeah. So you need to make the reconciliation. So again, once we click it, it will be taking us to a screen where we will be asked to put the ending balance, how much money we have at the end of the term. And then of course it will be asking us for any charges we have paid or something. Once we did it, it will be reconciling, and if there is any difference, it will tell us that this much is the difference. So that's how it works. We'll be working that exercise as well, recording deposits, reconciliation. So when you are paying your vendors, either you can write a check from here, or you can also selecting from the payables. In both the ways, it is correct. The only thing is, once you are selecting for the right checks, make sure that you have selected the right transaction as well. It's not like you just pay the bills. Otherwise, what will happen? Uh, just to give you the idea, if I have bought something from you for $100, and then my son came to you and give you the like you can say, so once you sold me that item, what you did, you put it as a receivable. Like you say that Raza will give you $100 in 15 days. Let's say on 14th of day, on 14th day, my son come to you and he gives you the $100. So it means whatever I owe, I already paid to you. But let's say if you don't update it in your records properly, what will happen? They will be appearing like the money is already given to you. So your profit margin, your sales, your profit will be updated. But when it comes to the receivables, your receivable is not updated. Why? Because you have not put it in my name. You just receive the money from a person you don't know. So that will be working in our exercises too, that how to avoid those mistakes. We'll also learn one more thing. Let's say if you have to pay XYZ vendor $100, and then instead of writing their name, what you do, you just write a check of $100 and send it to that person. That person encash the check. Now, in your record, you have a payable that you have to pay XYZ company $100. But when it comes to the payment, you already made the payment. So from your bank account, the money is already gone. But when it comes to your books, like the QuickBooks, you have one receivable which is already paid, but that is appearing as payable. You don't have any income or you don't have any transaction, but the money is gone. So it will be a double impact. Your receivable or payable can become you can say wrong, or you can say the wrong information about your balance sheet. Why? Because you pay to your lender, but your payments are still appearing as your like owe amount, like you need to pay this much amount. At the same time, uh, you got the money from someone who you give on credit, but now you already got the money, but they will be appearing in your receivable amount. So your receivable and payable statements are very much relying on how properly you are updating the information in the QuickBooks. And at the same time, once you are updating the information in the QuickBook, the more accurate the information is, the more perfect reports you can generate with it. So this is actually the background of why we are emphasizing to update the QuickBooks properly. So yes, we have done the vendors part, customers part. We have seen how to work with the company, how to work with the banking, reconciliation, check register, write checks. So yeah. So once we have to print. Let's say if we issue one check, we can print it one by one. But let's say if we have written a lot of checks, we can print all of them using the print checks option, and then it will print all of these in one time. So this is one more thing. So once you are done with all of these, like you have updated your vendors, you have updated your customers, you have updated your banking, the next part is the report. So once you are done with everything, then you are going to the reports. Just 1 minute. So reports is something like if you want to draw any report about the financials, like your profit and loss or balance sheet, that will be your company and financial report. If you want to make a report, anything about your customers or receivables, you see, it's not only giving us the receivables, it also giving us the aging, like how many days, like how many items are pending for 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days. So all of those agings are also part of the report. So you will not be losing the track of your receivables. At the same time, your sales, how much you sell to each customer, or how much, sales is uh, like if you want to see how much each of your customers giving them businesses, all of these details will be part of this one. Then comes the vendors and payables. So how much you owe to different vendors and what is the aging. Let's say how many of your payments are pending for the past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Everything will have a detail, and those all will be appearing in your report. So it depends on what report you want. If you have updated your QuickBook properly, it's just a click of a button. So you click it and it will give you the right report. Then of course, employees and payroll is also possible, but that is not part of our course, so we'll be just skipping it. Then the banking is actually the deposit details, the check details. If you want to withdraw, like draw from the system, is possible. If you have issued the check and then there are some missing checks that you have not updated in this one, it will also show those checks. Or if you have issued a check, they have not yet presented, you'll be seeing it. And then reconciliation discrepancy. So if you have any discrepancy while you are doing the reconciliation, any discrepancy found, they will be also appearing in here. And then of course, if someone wants to keep keep track of the taxes and other things, they can also do that part from here. So you can see here, once you are working or updating your data in the QuickBooks, it's very easy to draw a lot of information from your system, like the standard balance sheet or the income statement. All of those things are actually part of this portion, and it's very much easier if your data is updated properly in the system. Always remember the key why I started working with the accounting, because this part is important. If you know what are assets, what are liabilities, what is equity, so once there's a time to insert the detail about these, it will be easier for you to decide which place is the right place to update those information. Yes. So yeah, today was actually the overview of the entire QuickBook, because once we start QuickBook, then you'll be reading it bits and pieces. Like for each of the exercise, there will be one topic and we'll be covering those topics. So I just want, instead of giving the entire overview of the business or overview of the QuickBook in bits and pieces, I just give you this one the entirely, so that you don't, once you know the things in the smaller pieces, maybe you will not get the grasp of the entire picture of it. So today's class was only to give you to give you a picture of the entire QuickBook, and from the next class we'll be studying each topic of it. So it will be like smaller pieces, so you'll be grasping each topic one by one. But at the same time, from this class, you have an overview of how this all QuickBooks works. Yeah. So if you have any question, we are we still have some time. So if you have any question, you can ask me, or like.
I'm good. That's very interesting. I'm gonna like this.
It's a nice topic. It's a nice course. The only thing is because if someone has not done the accounting in the past, so my emphasis is see my first video which I created especially for the accounting one more time, so you'll get the basics of it. So once because if you update something which needs to be updated here and updating here, so your receivable will actually become payable. Why? Because something you need to ask for from someone that give me that money. Instead, you will be monitoring it as you have to pay this much money to someone else. So If you update in the wrong place, you'll be having the data which is not correct, right? So we need to understand that part, that what are the assets, what are the liabilities, what is the equity, so that once we are putting the information in the place, we are putting it properly. Yeah. So I will just give you one more item in this class, which is like the preferences. So if you see, whenever we are doing a transaction or whatever we are doing, it's actually want to update any of these, not in terms of, you can say, uh, not in terms of the updating of something. It is like if you want to make some uh, things doable for you, you can always go and select the preferences, and then you can select, like in the accounting, in the company preferences, you can also, if you see here, let me show you here, the chart of account, it is coming as directly the name of the chart of account, right? But let's say if I want to make them, because in the companies mostly they are using the account number for these assets, liabilities. So if I want to apply the numbers, I can always go to edit, go to preferences. Once I'm in the preferences, I go to accounting, company preferences, and then I can just simply say use account number. If I want to see the lowest of all the account number, I can also click this one. Depends on what I want to see. Once I click it, I click OK. So it's done. Now, if I open the chart of account, now you see the name of these you can say items has on the left side the account number as well. So these are different things that are possible with the preferences. There's one more thing, like if you want to make reminders for you, you can always select the reminders here. So it's all in alphabetical order, so you can decide which item that you want to work with, let's say accounting or bills or calendar or something, or reminders. So you can just show reminder list when opening a company preferences, and here you can see what are the items or what are the things that is already selected for the reminders. This reminder will be shown 5 days before, 5 days before, 5 days, 15 days. So you are actually tracking, your system is tracking by itself, and it will alarm you 5 days before the date or something, so that you can just start following up with your vendors. Sorry, normally vendors are following up with us. You can start following up with the customers, right? So these are all the things here. So so we have done this, we have done company, customers. One more thing, when we are working with the company, you remember we only give the information of the name of the company and the type. Let's say today we don't have those information available, but after 5 days, after 5 days, we got all the information about those things, like about the company, like we got the tax numbers, we got other information. We can always click my company here. So once you click it, see this edit button here on the right corner. If you click it, you can update all of those information, like the company information, address, phone number, fax number, legal number, legal information, company ID, like tax number and other things. And then reporting, like what is your reporting information, like how you create your tax information in your business, and then all of those type of things. So once you are done with it, you can click OK, and then all of those information will be updated. So that's why when we were creating the company, it was not necessary to update every information. It allows us to update only 3 information and then create the company. But let's say now we have all the information, we can always click it and then update our information here. So this is one more item, and then so we have done the edit, we have done view, list, favorites, company, customers, vendors, employees, banking. Yeah, this is the part that we have covered earlier as well, but we have done it for the vendors. So let me close it so you'll get the idea. So if you see here when we have seen that only 3 buttons are here, but let's say if you want to see what other options are available for the vendors, you can always click vendors, and then you see apart from enter bills and payables, you have other options like vendor center, bill tracker, or item list or print file 1099. So all of these things are available apart from these two items, right? The same thing is available for customers as well. Once you click it, and then you see apart from create invoice or create estimates or just until payment, you have a lot of other options are available here. So just in case when you find you don't, if you don't find any option here that you want to work with, you can always click the top line, which is on the tabs, the specific one like customers or vendors, and then you can search for the desired button. Maybe you will find that way more options to work with that thing. So the same way company, if you want to start up a company or select a company, you can always, if you want to update the information about your things, then you can always use the company option here. And as you see, the company option you have is normally we have the chart of account here on the right side, and the items and services, only these two items. But if you want to see other information that you can do with the company, these are all available here on the left side. So yeah, so there are a lot of options available once you are clicking the tabs on the top of the screen. QuickBook itself is very smart. It's very helpful software. If you have a decent sized company, it can take care of your accounting. It can take care of your vendors, customers, banking, every part of it. But the only thing is you need to make sure that you are doing it diligently, or you can say properly. Otherwise, if you just put the wrong data in the wrong place, then you may get in trouble because the data will not be showing the right picture of your business. Okay, so this is what we have learned today. The important in the last part is the insights. This is my insight. So whatever the business we have done as of now will be appearing on this page. Just in case, like we'll be doing that transition in the future, we can always select the all button. So right now it's not showing, but normally when we are selecting the things, then we have the option to select for the specific period, and then we can just change it. So right now it's not showing us, but maybe once we update the data, it will start showing us those things. So again, previous year income comparison, it's here. You can update all, like previous year and to this year. So it will compare and then tell you that how your business is performing. Top customers by sale. Again, once you have the data of the future, you can just put the data. Just in case, if you don't find it, there's one button which says date wise or custom, something like this. And then you can select this one, select that custom, and then you can use the dates which is offered, and then it will give you the data within those dates. The same way, these are all things available here as well, just to give you the idea. This is your dashboard that can show you the picture as of now, but you have the option of reports here that you can use for the transactions, or you can say you can use it for your different type of reports. This is done. This is done. Banking reports. So yeah, that's it. So if you have any question about it, it's like we can discuss about it. Otherwise, we are done for the day. Like, because I don't think that we have missed any part of it. So from the next class, we'll be start working with each of these. Like we'll be starting from the customers, vendors, then banking, and then in the last, we'll be working with the company itself for the transactions. So yeah, if you have any question, I'm here. Otherwise,
Thank you.
we'll see you on Wednesday, and
Okay.
we'll be
Yes.
with the customers. Okay. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you, Rosa. Bye.